The biggest leak in Xbox history has just happened. You know how sometimes content creators, like myself, I'll include myself in this one, will use the term huge or massive or big and then have something like leak. And sometimes it's really not that big of a leak. We just want you to click on the video. Well, this isn't the case because sometimes there's leaks and sometimes there are leaks. And this is the later variety. Man, one thing is for sure. Phil Spencer and the teams at Xbox, the marketing departments, the PR departments, and the legal departments probably had a very rough night last night. Because not only is this the biggest Xbox leak in history, it potentially could be one of the biggest leaks in gaming history and have some far-reaching consequences for Microsoft and Xbox and their ambitions moving forward, because Microsoft's entire, and I mean entire, roadmap, including new controllers, mid-gen refreshes, and next-generation console platforms. And if the entire roadmap not leaking was bad enough, we have some old Phil Spencer emails, some FTC deposition question and answers that are clearly never supposed to see the light of day. We have emails where Phil talked about how it would be a career-defining achievement for him to essentially buy Nintendo. Of course, who wouldn't want to buy Nintendo? I'm sure Sony would love to buy Nintendo too. They would dominate the market, but whatever. There's a lot of stuff here. Bethesda's entire slate of games has leaked as well. We're not going to talk about everything in today's video because I want it to be short and, potentially make multiple videos out of this because there's just so much to talk about. First and foremost, who's at fault here? That was my first question when I saw this information. I was like, did the FTC screw up or was this on Microsoft? So I just have to wonder, how did this stuff get out, considering we just went through that entire trial with Judge Corley and stuff that got redacted or didn't redact, and Sony accidentally used the black marker so we could see the budgets of Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that. They went to great lengths to be like, hey, stuff needs to be redacted, and then all willy-nilly, everything about Xbox just comes out of nowhere. I don't know what to think. I want to know who's responsible for this, Microsoft or FTC. So before we get into these documents, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. We're almost at 100K, and if you didn't know, I'm Randall Thor19, the man with the million. But let's go, because the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Xbox Series S refresh. No, not a mid-gen upgrade, as I've seen some people incorrectly state on social media. This is not a more powerful Xbox, because people were saying, Phil lied! He lied, damn it! He said they weren't going to do one, and God, they're doing one, right? Well, reading comprehension isn't a lot of people's strong suits on social media. So what we have here is an Xbox Series X refresh called Brooklyn, which is the most powerful Xbox ever. Now, adorably, all digital. And that last line could only be made up by a marketer, because who the hell would call an all-digital system adorable? Certainly not me, and I'm completely all-digital and have been since 2015. So when I see that, it's like, oh, this is marketing. Someone's like, well, we gotta find a way to sell an all-digital console because we're removing the physical disk drive, and a lot of people won't like that, but we can call it adorable. A+, guys. So Brooklyn will deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, a more immersive controller, and a beautiful redesign that elevates the all-digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem. And it looks like, I don't know, a home speaker, a cylinder, or an Xbox trash can. I'm not a fan of the cylinder design they have going on right here, but maybe it's just a mock-up, maybe it's just a prototype, maybe this isn't the final design, because I have my Series X horizontal, and I get the sense if I were to lay this baby on its side, it would start rolling out of my entertainment center. So hopefully that's not the actual final design. So what else they say here is that they're giving our fans more to love. It is beautiful and innovative new design, more internal storage for games, 2 terabytes, as we all know the Series X launched with 1. So yeah, I am a fan of getting more storage. USB-C front port with power delivery, all new, more immersive controller, the same great price, $499. So essentially, you launch the Series X in 2020 for $499, and then you come out with the refresh with, you know, what they say, an adorable all-digital package with 1 terabyte more storage, faster Wi-Fi, and a new controller design, which we'll get to later, and it's the same price, $499. Okay, we'll see how that goes with the market, especially if Sony's might be coming in with a PlayStation 5 Pro at the same price point, potentially, so we'll see how that actually pans out. But wait, there's more. We also have Elwood, which is an Xbox Series S refresh, and I'm not gonna go read everything like I just did. I already can look at my timeline on this video and see it's already 8 minutes, and I wanted this to be really short. So Elwood would deliver Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, and a more immersive controller, all for the same affordable price. So this one is coming in at $299, although it's kind of odd considering they just launched the black 1 terabyte Xbox Series S for $349. This one's supposed to be coming out next year, and we'll look at their launch dates. And it's gonna have the same 1 terabyte hard drive, but I guess it doesn't have the faster Wi-Fi and the new immersive controller. And it's gonna be $299. So we'll see how this all plays out. So we have 2 mid-gen refreshes, 1 for the Series S and 1 for the Series X, Brooklyn and Elwood. But honestly, the refreshes aren't the most interesting thing out of all this. It's the brand new controller, Sybil, which is the world's best controller now playing on a screen near you. And one of the things we're going to talk about here is how a lot of Xbox fans might have to come to grips and say they were joking. Psych! When they said that haptics on the DualSense weren't good and that Xbox shouldn't copy them, because this baby is going to be bringing you haptics. You can see what Microsoft's talking about here: ubiquity, sustainability, approachability, and immersion. So we'll look at the immersion part right here. So you can feel the game. It has precision haptic feedback, which I'm actually a fan of. I'm not really a fan of the two-tone of the controller, the white and the black, but again, could be just a mock-up. But it has the haptics, which I really do enjoy on the DualSense, and I would welcome this on an Xbox controller in their games. I just didn't like the adaptive triggers. We also get the haptics doubling as speakers. It has an accelerometer, quieter buttons, and thumbsticks. There's an Xbox Wireless 2 and a direct-to-cloud thing, which I'm not really sure what it is. They talk about it in kind of the next-gen system. Direct-to-cloud could be some sort of thing like Stadia, where all you really need is the controller, because in some of the other documents, they talk about the Xbox controller as the hero of next-gen, and all you need is the controller to play your games, whether you're playing on your PC, your console, or cloud gaming. So maybe it's something to do with that. Microsoft is also adding a rechargeable and swappable batteries, so maybe AA's will be a thing of the past, because it does sound like there's fast charging with the USB-C in the front of the console, and it's durable and reliable because it has new modular thumbsticks, improved longevity, and continued build improvements. And baby, you can just lift to wake it up. Instead of having to hold the Nexus button at the top to turn on the controller, well, apparently you can just lift it up and it will turn on by itself. Now, let's take a look at the launch timeline for these new systems and controller. Yeah, I really wasn't kidding when I said everything is out there. Microsoft's entire plan. Although I should make mention that these slides are from May 2022, and it was submitted to the FTC, I believe, in October of last year. So potentially things could have changed. Maybe the dates were pushed back, or maybe projects were canceled. I'm just saying, you know, normally with leaks, you're like, take everything here with a grain of salt, but like, obviously, these are official Microsoft slides, so I think it's pretty true. Some of the dates might have shifted, but I mean, when you're talking about hardware and how it all has to be locked in years in advance, I would say that the refresh stuff is good to go. It may not exactly be on this timeline, and some of the other things that are further out maybe might not happen or might happen later, but I mean, it seems like this is all gonna happen at some point. So we have the new controller launch for $70. We have the Xbox Gaming Beat in June, which is around their E3 conference, right? Sebel announced fiscal year 2024 Q4. And the mid-gen console announces will be announced simultaneously right there in between June and July, fiscal year 2024, fiscal year 2025. Obviously, during the Xbox showcase is where you would actually do that. And you can see the Elwood 1TB Series S refresh will be launching end of August, early September for $299. And then Brooklyn, the Series X refresh, 2 terabytes, will be launching end of October, early November for $499, with additional storage options. So if you need more storage expansion cards, those will also be announced and available fiscal year of 2025, the second half of it. But there's going to be a 60-day separation between launches, enables dialogue with different audiences, allows Microsoft to focus on new improvements in the controller and tell stories beyond the console. Isn't that cute? Adds value to Brooklyn and Elwood at announce, gives Elwood its own moment earlier in the holiday timeframe to maximize sales. And then you have Last Chance Edith, which is the 512 gigabyte at $199 as a Black Friday offer before EOL, which I believe stands for end of line, which means it's being discontinued. Now, is Edith the codename for the Series S? But I thought that was Lockhart. So are they saying here that moving forward after this, the Series S refresh, Elwood is going to be the only one available and the previous ones are going to get discontinued? Potentially, I think that's what it means. Starkville end of line ahead of Brooklyn launch. Now, is that the Series X codename? Because I thought that was Anaconda. I would assume if they're ending something before the Series X refresh, well, then they're probably getting rid of the Series X with the disk drive. I'm assuming that's what this means. I could be completely wrong. Somebody will obviously correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And Brooklyn, the Series X refresh, arrives just in time for the gifting season, but separate from the Series S refresh. Now, if we take a look at Microsoft's mid-gen goals, they want to delight players, enable creators, and unlock ubiquity. So they are going to address consumer feedback by increasing the storage on the Series S, rechargeable, removable controller batteries, XDL for consoles, that is Xbox Design Lab. Now, everybody kind of theorized with Xbox Design Lab where we had the controllers and all the cool things you could do, all the combinations, and then eventually they upgraded them to the Elite controllers, that the pinnacle, or at least the next step, would be to order a custom console for them with, different colors or what have you. And it seems like that's actually on the roadmap and something they want to do. And update the controller with increased immersion, but they want to also maintain technology leadership and innovation with an all-new Series X design, an all-digital ecosystem, up to 80% reduced power in standby mode, and Wi-Fi 6E for faster downloads. Enable richer gaming experiences like the direct-to-cloud controller. Get into games quicker with extra I/O lanes, reduce developer friction, and fast controller charging via the front USB port. And then drive growth, competitiveness on console, MSRPs, and distribution flexibility, multiple storage options for broader access, refreshed ID and more sustainable materials, and BT Radio enables more third-party accessories. Now, there's a whole bunch of other slides that I'm not really going to show because I don't really feel like they're interesting, but one here I want to talk about is Microsoft's current gaps in fiscal year 2023 to reach their 2030 goals. And their 2030 goals are basically to have like 100 million subscribers in Game Pass and to lead the video game industry. We're in 2023. That's 7 years from now. Microsoft's going to have to get on their horse. And if they want to make that a reality, 100 million Game Pass subscribers when they're probably right now at, 35 if you combine Gold and the core into Xbox Game Pass console. So you're going to have to really grow Game Pass off console with PC and mobile if you want to reach those numbers. I thought it was like they project they want to hit $38 billion in 2030. But these are just some of the things here, and it's interesting because you'll notice at the top, there's a handheld. And I know everybody's like, are we getting an Xbox handheld? But it doesn't look like we are. So we can see the things that are funded right now, which is the Cloud Console Keystone, the Gen 10 investigations for next generation systems, mid-gen consoles, the Series S and the Series X, the wireless headset 1.5 COS, the Core controller, which is the brand new controller with the haptics and all that, SW security, and the Xbox Design Lab with special editions and limited editions for the mid-gen controller. So those are all fully funded, ready to go. Now, the ones that aren't currently funded or resourced yet are another Elite controller, which is odd, you would think, with how Microsoft loves to put out new controllers all the time, that Elite Controller 3 would be a shoo-in, so I'm surprised this is not funded already. A luxury controller, whatever that means, is that the leak about the one that would have like a touchscreen in the middle? Maybe. So Elite controller and luxury controller, not funded. Console customization via Xbox Design Labs is not currently funded or resourced, but it's something they want to do. PC accessories, the accessibility portfolio, new cloud server blades, repairability, sustainability progress, which is, I think, actually done because there was some announcements about do it yourself. So, like I said, this was a slide from May 2022, and we're right now in September 2023. So, I mean, a lot of time has passed, and maybe some of these have changed. And then audio portfolio expansion, but not in scope for first party, are earbuds, a media remote, a mobile controller, and a handheld. Because I think Xbox wants to partner with the ROG Allies of the world and the Logitech G Clouds of the world and not have to spend all the extra money R&Ding a handheld of their own. So I'm not terribly too surprised that here it says it's not in scope for first party, but then again, maybe things have changed. Now, before we end this video, because it's getting long, it's at 20 minutes, and I haven't talked about half the stuff, so you might have a lot of videos coming for me this week. We got to talk about Microsoft's next-gen console. They call it their cohesive hybrid compute, which is their vision being develop a next-generation hybrid game platform capable of leveraging the combined power of the client and cloud to deliver deeper immersion and entirely new classes of game experiences. Optimized for real-time gameplay and creators, we will enable new levels of performance beyond the capabilities of the client hardware alone. And their key strategic decisions and investments, they gotta decide on the silicon by Q1 of, basically right now. It's probably been decided, right? They might actually go with ARM, because currently the Series X consoles use x86, and they're saying here they were going to use x64 Zen 6 or the ARM 64, a balance of big versus little CPU cores. Now, I am not technically minded whatsoever, so I don't really know what a lot of this stuff means. I don't really know what they're really talking about when they say next generation hybrid game platform. Does that mean like multiple sort of devices? I know at the bottom they say they have a thin OS, lacking thin OS for less than $99 consumer or handheld devices. So is this its Microsoft's next-gen platform, like how Project Scarlet was the next-gen platform for Xbox that included Lockhart and Anaconda, the Series X and S? Is this just one aspect of it where you might have some mobile devices or things like that, but then also a console? I don't really know. I do think that's what it means. I could be wrong, and I don't really know how powerful this would be or what have you, but hey, you know, Microsoft, they're very much behind cloud. It just kind of a little bit smells to me of, hey guys, remember the power of the cloud from 2013? It's back. So they got a GPU co-design with AMD or licensed AMD IP for Navi 5, all this sort of stuff. The graphics innovation, next-gen DirectX ray tracing, dynamic global illumination, micro-polygon rendering optimizations, machine learning-based super resolution, an extensibility model for faster iteration and innovation. So we're going to finally end this video on this last slide that talks about how each generation of Xbox has also brought new innovations to Microsoft, how the original Xbox brought Xbox Live and DirectX innovation, the 360 brought us Kinect digital media store, and game input. Okay, game input, I guess, whatever. The Xbox One, what did it innovate with? Well, the Xbox security processor, Game Pass, and DirectX innovation, which, I mean, they have there on the OG Xbox side too, so they innovated twice on DirectX, I guess. The Series X and S generation brought us innovations like Project xCloud, direct storage, and DFA manufacturing. So what is next gen bringing to us in the year 2028? Well, they're going to bring us cloud hybrid games and also immersive game and app platform. So what is a cloud hybrid game? Well, that's a game you would play locally or maybe through the cloud, but it's also leveraging the cloud to, potentially have more enemies on screen, things like that. I'm thinking back to like the Crackdown 3 multiplayer demo, but I know there are a lot of games now that use the cloud to make games better. I mean, Microsoft Flight Sim is a perfect example of that, where you could play it offline. It's a totally different experience, but if you're online connected, it's using the cloud to kind of stream in that incredible world. And I even think games like Call of Duty are streaming in some things from the cloud as well. So you talk about another 5 years of advancement in games. I mean, that's sort of what they're talking about. This isn't even all the things that leaked from Microsoft and Xbox and the FTC stuff. Phil's quotes, the things with Bethesda, which we'll have to talk about in other videos, because I could talk for hours about this stuff. It's too bad Jez Corden is on vacation. Otherwise, we would have a probably emergency podcast today. But either way, thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know what you think about all this. Are you excited about next gen coming in 2028 and a cohesive hybrid compute model that Microsoft is going for? Next generation hybrid game platform, is that something that excites you? Are you looking forward to the Series X refresh or the Series S refresh? Or maybe the controller. Is the controller the most exciting thing out of all this here? Do you want haptics? Let me know your full thoughts, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.